We may as well get this started. This is a little bit sooner than I usually start, but that's okay. This means I'll be done a little faster. I have been wrestling with a lot of stuff this week, doing a lot of work out in the yard. Although I did also manage to put in about 20 or 30 hours on GTA Online. Did a lot of testing with crates. And how crates are counted when you sell some but not all of the crates you have to deliver on an air freight mission. I sank about, I'd say 10-15 hours into that. And then I started doing vehicle warehouse stuff, and that's almost done. Actually, I've only got, I think, like 4 or 5 more vehicles that need to be picked up, and then those will be, then that warehouse will be full. And I just want to do that to have the full warehouse. I don't really care about selling them, because it's like every time I do a vehicle mission, it takes like 10-15 minutes. And then to actually do the vehicle sale mission, well, that's another 5 or 10 minutes. And it's $80,000 if I do a top-end vehicle. But if I just go to a payphone hit, I do one of those every 20 minutes. That's $85,000. It's kind of dumb to spend time on vehicle warehouse stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I just don't think is even worth it anymore, given that I have the agency and I've started building that thing up. But anyway, clearly you're watching this on YouTube because I haven't started the stream yet. So do the little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, all of that shit. Jump in here. Back up. No, I don't want to use the new soundboard. No. That's going to end badly. People are going to do dumb shit with that on Discord. Yeah. Let's scroll down here and grab our windowed projector. There we go. And that's there we go. We're up and kicking on the stream. God, my eyes are bugging the hell out of me. My eyes always get seriously irritated if I play a lot of GTA. I think it's because of your brain thinks that you have to look at things at different distances, but you don't. You only look at things at one distance. It's the distance of the screen. So your eyes are trying to focus on stuff in the distance, and they can't because the screen is doing the focusing. And I think that's a strain on the eyes. But anyway, let's open up a new image, and I will talk a little bit about some stuff that I've been thinking about this week. And one of the things that I've been thinking about is fundamentals. Man, why do I even bother to like write on screen? You never have enough work on your fundamentals. Never. Never, 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 never. You've never done enough work on them. You've never spent enough time with perspective. You've never spent enough time with shading. You've never spent enough time with color theory. You always need to go back to those. Always, always, always. And the more you think you don't need to go back to them, the more you probably need to. To do more work on fundamentals, one of the things that I want to do is I want to think about perspective at different levels. And also perspective at different places in the rotation of a given object. I want to think about the transition from 2-point perspective to single point perspective, where that happens. And I also really want to get into some things like if you've got a cube if you've got a cube like this, it's in single point perspective, but in the same image you might have another cube that is in 2-point perspective. You might have 1-point perspective and 2-point perspective in the same scene. And there are rules around that. There are rules around how that works. But I don't understand them very well. So I want to do some work with that and kind of get a better idea of what those rules are and how I should be thinking about them. Because it's like the immediate thought that I have is like, you've got a sofa in one part of the room, okay? You got a sofa, and that sofa will be in one perspective depending on the exact particulars of your scene, okay? But then across from the sofa, you've got a chair. And that chair is not going to have the same perspective. If you try to draw it with the same perspective, it's not going to come out looking right. So the thing is that, like, given the sofa's in this location, and here's the plane of the floor, and here's sort of the direction that's going, and if you have a chair that's sitting across from the table, obviously the legs of the chair are going to need to sit on the same plane as the floor, okay? But those legs of the chair are going to come up and they're going to connect to the seat, and then the chair itself, okay, the chair is not going to be in the same perspective as the sofa. It's going to go to entirely different vanishing points that are on the same horizon line, but it's not going to have the same general sense. It's not going to go to the same points as the sofa, and making that look right is something that I see people do this in comics. I see people draw a sofa and a chair in the same room, and it looks like shit. It's just clearly wrong. But I don't know how to draw it correctly, and I really want to take some time to think about that and to give some thought to how does one draw that correctly? What are the steps that you go through? And that you have to go back to fundamentals. You can't just you can't cheat it and just draw the chair and go, well, the chair's going to be like the same. No, the chair's probably going to be turned at a different angle. I mean, you look at the way the furniture's arranged in your house, most of it isn't just like squared up to all of the other pieces in the house, unless you live with a very weird organizational freak. And I want to spend some time looking at that and figuring out how that works. And that's fundamentals. That's your very basic stuff that needs to be done. And then another thing that I want to work on, I want to work on sketching, because I don't really know how to sketch, or at least, I mean, I don't know how to sketch in a way that helps me do a finished piece. I know how to like draw a rough version of a piece and then go back and draw a cleaner version of the piece, but I don't feel like the sketch I do really helps me that much with the piece. I see other artists go through this. I see other artists that they work on a piece and they do their sketch, and their sketch looks a lot like their finished piece. My sketches look nothing like my finished piece. My finished piece is always just like a little bit different, and some of that is because I suck. There's probably a better way to put that, but some of that is because in the course of doing my sketch, I learn more by doing the sketch than a more advanced or professional artist would learn by doing that sketch, because they already know this shit. I mean, all of this stuff is already in their sketch. My sketch is still me figuring stuff out. Everything is still me figuring stuff out. I thought I would have more of it figured out by now. And that I don't know how to interpret that. I don't know how to look at it that I thought I would have more of it figured out, and I don't have more of it figured out. But I mean, I like the direction that I'm going. I like the things that I'm learning. Sometimes I'm frustrated that I don't seem to be learning them fast enough, that I don't seem to be learning them well enough. I don't seem to be making much progress as I wanted. But I think a lot of it is I'm making progress in areas that I didn't think were important. Like if you look back at the Pecora leaping image that I was working on, there was a lot of stuff that I learned with regard to making backgrounds, and that thing's still not finished, and it's not even close to being finished, and it hasn't been getting closer to being finished, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I never know what the hell I'm doing, so that's not different. But I learn more from my sketch than the average person who's been doing art for a long time that's much more advanced. Their sketch is just like, well, let's do a rough thing and then I'll do something cleaner and better later on top of it. And I'm not doing cleaner and better. I'm just doing straight up better later. Like, I may as well be doing it all over again, because I kind of am. I don't even really use the sketch. I haven't been doing my appropriate stages where I start off with this basic concept of this is the kind of the thing that I'm trying to do here, and then move on to composition and go, well, here is the cylinder of the forearm, and here is the plane of the hand, and here is the cylinder of upper arm. Here's the diamond top of the torso. Here's a cylinder for the neck. I'm not really doing all of this constructive stuff. And I need to do more of that because that's fundamentals. I need to trust the process and understand that the process is going to make things better. And I'm not sure I'm following the process right. Like, I feel like the results I get should be better than they are. But I don't know whether it's because I'm doing something wrong or I'm not doing something right. If I'm just not doing it right and I can learn to do it right, that's fine. If I'm doing something wrong, then I need to stop what I'm doing wrong, but I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And I'm not sure how to approach fixing that. It's a difficult question. And I'm not certain what the answer to it is, but I'm leaning in the direction of do more sketching and following the process. I want to finish more pieces. I want to take more things all the way through from beginning to end. I feel like I ran away from landscapes, and I need to get back to that. I need to work on backgrounds. I don't really draw a lot of backgrounds, and I don't really draw a lot of environmental objects, and I feel like I need to do more of that. I need to draw more just like regular things, which I think that comes down to fundamentals. Common things. I feel like I need to draw more common things. Like coffee cups and speakers and stereos. Things that I might need to draw later. Chairs, sofas, area rugs. That's another thing that I frequently read indie comics, and somebody has drawn a room and the furniture looks fine and the room looks fine and the area rug, something's off with that area rug. I don't know what it is they did wrong, but they did something. And I feel like there's something about that is more difficult than the artist expects. And I'm not sure what it is, but I feel like I should figure it out so my stuff doesn't look like crap. I'm aware that my stuff will still look like crap for a very long time, but I I really want to fix that. And I need to start working on things that are closer to kind of the end goal, because the end goal here is to produce visual novels and art pieces that revolve around a kind of erotic gore aesthetic. Not because the gore is sexy, but because, you know, you add sex to a gore scene, it makes the gore worse. It's not adding gore to the sex scene to make the sex better. The sex makes the gore worse. Because that's the stuff where people are really going to be like paying attention to the artwork. I don't think anybody's going to look that closely at the character graphics for Groping Festival. I don't think anybody's going to care too much about the details on the sprites of Stop Groping Me, and I don't think it's even all that important to have great character design and animation on I'm not going to let you filthy perverts peep at my little sister in the hot springs. There will be more attention paid to the graphics in Gropocalypse Now: The Rise of Ollie, but there will be way more attention paid to the graphics for the Yandere Harem series, because the graphics are the point in that. And I've been doing some little programming experiments and some little things where I go, well, how am I going to implement this and how am I going to implement that? And the programming is really not an issue. You know? I mean, I've got a great engine in Godot and Godot 4 is like even better. 4.1 is on the way out, and that's going to be fucking amazing. But that makes a lot of the stuff that I'm doing much easier than it would be if I were trying to implement everything from scratch. And all of the stuff that I want to put into my various work, I go, well, here's how I would implement this thing. And I build a quick little proof of concept, and it doesn't take too long, and it works flawlessly. And I'm just like, okay, that's exactly what I need. So I don't see any of the programming representing an issue as I go through this process. I'm nervous about the music. I mean, I'm not really nervous about performing the music or composing the music. I'm nervous about... There are games that you play, and the music is something you can listen to all day long. You can loop that music and just sit there and go, yeah, that's some great music. And at the very least, I don't want the music in the games to be something that people go, God, how do I turn this off? And I'm not entirely sure how to do that. I was doing some thinking about Stop Groping Me, and about the idea of, you know, you've got 20 to 30 minutes in the level, and everything is at specific points of the level. And I just went, what if you compose all of the music for the level specifically to the events that are scripted? So instead of having like an 8-minute loop or a 4-minute loop or whatever they do in like Vampire Survivors and that sort of thing, what if you had something that was like appropriate music up to the point where this boss monster shows up, and then when that boss monster shows up, you know that boss is showing up, so the music changes. and it stays changed until you're farther in, and then the next boss shows up, and you know that next boss is showing up, so you have some like particular boss theme that enters at that point. And I was thinking about it, and I went, well, you never really know how long it takes to kill the boss, and you want the boss music to go away when the boss is dead. But I was thinking about that, and I was going, well, you could make that happen. You could overlay that. You could turn on individual boss themes. When the boss dies, you can have its theme fade out. And I'm wrestling with the question of how to design. I believe they call it exegetic, which just like something that fits with everything. And I'll need to talk about that at some point about the composition. That's going to have to wait until I'm doing graphics for the games that is actually going to be good graphics. And so I'm looking at all of this, and the storyline of all of these games has just, I've kind of already written all of that. So the storytelling part, well, that's done. Telling the story is done, and playing the music is not going to be especially difficult. It's going to, there's some concern there about how to make it happen, but most of the how do I make it happen stuff is how do I use the available software to make this happen. The programming is just like, it's not even a concern. So it kind of all revolves around the blocking issue is the artwork. The artwork has to get better. And and that's really what I need to focus on, because everything else is just a matter of time. It's a matter of time and schedule. I can write the story, and I can make the game, and I can play the music. I just need to I just need to go through the motions and put all of that together. But none of that is going to mean shit if I don't have the graphics. And to get the graphics, I have to get good at the art. And getting good at the art is take a very, very long time. I'm not sure how to approach the process of making this happen on a reasonable time frame. I'm just not sure. So that's the thing that I'm really wrestling with is I'm like, I got to get better at this art, and I got to get better at it fast. And like on top of that, it's spring, and there's so much goddamn work that has to be done outside. It's just, I mean, there's too much land that needs to be taken care of. It's ridiculous. And yeah, I need to figure out how I'm going to do that. I need to figure out how I'm going to coordinate all of this and how I'm going to make all of this happen. And one of the things I've been thinking about is kind of blocking out areas of the day and saying this area is for this thing. And I'm kind of rebelling against that right now, because I went, okay, here's a good block of the day, and here's another good block of the day. So I can lay out those two blocks of the day, and I can say those are for working on my art. And there's a part of me that goes, but that's all my time. Yeah, This is my job now. I need to take it seriously and not just phone it in every damn day. I did virtually always. I mean, I thought about how to draw armpits. I need to iconify things. There's a thing like necks. The neck is this kind of little shape here. You got your clavicles, and you got your trap muscles, and here you've got your sternocleidomastoideus. And if somebody turns their head this way, there's a very strong tendon that comes out here under the chin. And it doesn't come out on this side. This side is nice and relaxed. It comes out on the side away from the face. Putting it back of the top of it. Still need to work on proportion, but that kind of iconic neck there, that very simple sort of those 6 lines. I want to do stuff like that for other stuff. Like I've been looking at the shoulder, the arm. I've been going, okay, here's your pec muscle. That pec muscle goes over top of the bicep, but it goes underneath of the deltoid. And then here, there's another muscle here that comes out of the armpit. And all of this kind of, here's the lat, the latissimus dorsi, and then over here is your tricep, right here. And all of these kind of fit together in this sort of there's a structure to it. That I think needs to be iconically represented. And I'm not sure exactly how to do that. You've got kind of a single, triple, you've got kind of a double muscle here where the tricep is in front of the lat. And then you've got this kind of, here's the bicep. Here's the axilla, and there's the bicep, and here's the deltoid that comes in front of that. I'm looking for an easy way to iconify that, because you can kind of iconify the side with this sort of shaded area here. And if we turn off, you can see there's kind of this iconified rib cage that happens under there. I've drawn it too large. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff that I'm wrestling with. As there are all of these things that I need to work on. There are all these things that I need to do, and you can see me kind of doing that here on the first Saturday of the month. kind of when I think about these things. And I need to do more finished pieces. I need to get stuff out there. I need to get something approaching an audience. I mean, I'm over 500 followers on Twitter. I've been close to that for a while, so I don't really feel like that's a huge improvement. But I have gotten a couple more subscribers on YouTube as well. I think just plugging away at it matters. Just putting in the time. I would say putting in the work, but not like I put in that much work. There needs to be more work to go with the time. It's not just like showing up and sitting around and dicking about with like little stuff that never gets anywhere. But yeah, that's kind of it's where I'm trying to go with this. I'm trying to. I want to work on. I just want to work consistently. I just want to make things happen more reliable. And that's all me. That's all just I need to sit down and do the work. There's nothing preventing me, there's nothing stopping me, there's nothing getting in the way of me doing the work except me. The only thing all of your problems have in common is you. The problem is probably you. So I need to spend some time working on these things. Um, I just need to put in the time. I just need to do the work. I mean, how hard is it? Do the fucking work, right? Just do the goddamn work. And I think I need to reevaluate whether the way that I'm organizing my layers is productive. Like, do I really want my sketch layer in red and my composition layer in blue and my notes layer in green? Is that really the way that I want to do things? Um, I have my line art in black. Is black line art really the direction I always want to go? I put my shading layer in multiply mode. Is that really how I want to do things? Um, what's the most productive way to use layers in a finished piece? I don't know. I hardly ever finish pieces. The only piece I've ever really finished was using this layer structure. Um, I'm just not sure. Not sure how to I'm not sure how to more productively approach finished pieces because I just don't do enough finished pieces. So I think that's a direction that I need to go. I need to get to okay. So I think what I need to do is well, fundamentals and process I think are related. So let's look at it this way. We're going to have fundamentals and we're going to have the process. So let's look at the process. Number 1, I want to sketch more productively. Number 2, I want to use the fundamentals to improve. Sketch, start, process, followed, and finish. So if I kind of blocked out maybe 3 or 4 hours and I just went, okay, I've got an hour for the sketch, and I got 2 hours to follow the process, and then the last hour I finish things up. And then it is what it is at the end of that 4 hours. I don't think I need a full hour to sketch. So I think maybe we block this out for me to follow the process for 2 hours and then use the last 2 hours to finish. And then all of this over here, landscapes, backgrounds, common things, that's just a question of putting those into the stuff that I'm building. I want to do some contemporary indoor locations. Well, I have the 6 locations that I need to do for Groping Festival, and the same locations for Stop Groping Me. That's all going to be. It's going to be the same 6 levels. We're going to have the subway station and the space outside the apartment complex, the classroom, the playground, convenience store. I need to work more on clothing. Clothing is difficult for me. Work more on drawing clothing. I need to learn more about CSP specifics. Like, I was working on brick walls, but we have got we've got all of these patterns and stuff in Clip Studio Paint. Like here's a wall, and here's some wallpaper and various stuff. These are just color patterns. There should be some bricks in here. It seems like there would be bricks, doesn't it? There's a wooden wall. Yeah, here's bricks. Right here. So I feel like there's stuff in here that I could use that I am not using because I don't know it's here, you know? There's a wire mesh fence. There's all kinds of stuff in here, and I don't know what it is. I just haven't put enough time into looking at it, and I haven't tried to use it for anything. And I should. That'd be useful. We also have 3D heads now. We got round anime heads, cartoon heads. There's a basic head, chibi head, primitives. Really know what those are for. Body types, heads, primitives, panoramas. Ooh, a park. See, I need to learn more about this stuff. Like, what exactly is this? Here, like schoolboys and schoolgirls. Small objects. I don't know that I'd want to use these as is in a piece. I could use the 3D feature of this to work out how the perspective operates. See, it's like we've got all these backgrounds here that can almost be used as is. Manga materials. We've got frame templates. Look at that. Effect lines. You can do all kinds of neat little effects like this. I don't know my way around the software that well. I don't know all of the tools. I don't know all of the options. I don't know all of the things that can be done. I feel like I need to put some time into that. I don't know. That's pretty much. I've just rambled this entire time about the stuff that I want to work on and stuff that I want to put together and why I want to put it together. And I have no idea how useful that is. I have no idea whether that gives you any kind of perspective or whether it's helpful or anything. This is one of those things, and I say this over and over again, but This is one of those things that I think is only really going to be useful in retrospect. When I'm much farther along on my journey, the ability to look back at my journey and see that I was at this place might be inspirational. If I get anywhere. If I actually improve enough that anybody cares what my struggle was on the way to get there. And that's not a defeatist or fatalist attitude, just a recognition that sometimes the thing you're trying to do never happens. Sometimes you're just not good at the thing you want to be good at. I need to put more time in. That's all there is to it. I just need to do the work. Like, seriously, how fucking hard is that? Do the fucking work. Yeah, that's it. Do the fucking work. That's today's message. Do the work. That's the whole message. Do the work. And y'all, once again, do the little YouTube dance. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that. That's Sketch Weekly this week. Okay, bye.